You've worked with artists like Selena Gomez, Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber, Kanye West. Tell us a little bit about your musical and songwriting background.
I don't know. It's not that interesting. I'm
Don't be humble, Freddie.
Hey friends, it's your girl, Emily Curl, back in my virtual studio, and we've got some special guests today. She's everyone's best friend. You know her as Mindy from Emily in Paris. We have Ashley Park here with us. Hi, Ashley.
Hi. Oh, I love that, everyone's best friend.
And I'm Emily, so it's the Mindy to my Emily. It's perfect.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
We also have Grammy-nominated songwriter and producer Freddy Wexler, who wrote the song Mon Soleil from Emily in Paris. Hi, Freddy.
How's it going?
Good. Again, we're so happy to have you all. Let's dive in, talk about the music in Emily in Paris. It's amazing, both in the score and in the scenes. Ashley, we get to see you perform. Freddie, let's kick it off with you. Tell me a little bit about how you came to be a part of the show.
Yeah, so it was actually very organic. A video popped up on my Instagram feed, and it was Ashley, who I did not know, and it was right after some of it was in the height of a lot of that anti-Asian hate that was going on, and there was a string of incidents in New York, New York City, and anyway. This video came up and I was mesmerized because the person speaking was just so vulnerable and articulate, and I was really moved, and I reposted it. My agent DM'd me and he's like, "You know her?" And I said, "No." Like, I literally it was one of these things I was just like, I have to repost this. This was very moving. And he's like, "Do you want to meet her?" I said, "Sure." He just set us up to meet, and we just, really hit it off. Like, we both opened up and shared each a secret about our lives that I feel like at least
you're right. Yeah. So big thank you to Kevin Lynn.
So that was it. So then we had this meeting, and then Ashley, I guess, what happened? Darren, the creator of the show, I think, said to Ashley.
So around, we were filming, I think maybe the second or third episode, and Darren Star, who's the showrunner and creator of Emily in Paris, he came up to me, and we knew that we were doing some more musical numbers throughout the show, and they write as we film.
Oh wait, so this was episode 2 and 3 of the second season?
Yeah. So this is in the middle of the season. We're already shooting. Me and Freddie had met a couple months before, but over Zoom too. We had never met in person, I knew when I met him, I was like, oh my God, he's written for Celine Dion. He just did Stuck With You with Justin Bieber and, Ariana Grande. And I was just so pleasantly surprised that he was also just a really awesome human. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a guy I would want as my friend too, So it's always a pleasure.
She has since changed her mind on all of that.
Some of it now, but it was a great collaboration.
So Darren came up to me while we were on set and was like, hey, Ashley, I have this idea. I feel like we should do an original song for this season. And I was like, that's awesome. He was like, do you want to write one? And I was like, oh, Darren, I don't write music. I interpret and I love to perform. But I was like, I love the idea of this opportunity of doing an original song. He was like, well, why don't you send me some people that you want to write it and everything? And I was like, it would be so awesome if we could get Freddy Wexler to write it. I know he's so busy though. And it was such kind of a last minute thing because we were already filming. So I was like, if there's any way we can get him. So I remember they reached out to Freddy and I texted Freddy. I was like, would this be something you'd be interested in? And I was so happy that he was. And so it was very just organic in that way because we also knew this was a song that was going to be a really big part of the story. It wasn't just a song that I was going to be singing on a bridge or in a club or anything like that. So it had to have a lot of heart and nuance and some thought into the storytelling element of it. And I was really excited about that just because I come from the world of theater where music is really used to propel the story. And my belief in certain songs that really hit home and are fun to sing are the ones where I think people sing when there's nothing more that words alone can express. And so I remember me and Freddie just doing a take it from there. We FaceTimed a couple times and he came to me with a couple ideas right away. I think it was Mon Soleil, the tune of it and the vibe of it. And I think he said something maybe Stevie Wonder, but meets the French world a little bit. It feels romantic, but cool. And I was just blown away by just the fact that he just came up with this melody and this vibe immediately. And then we kept on talking through it and because the lyrics had to be important and such. And then we came up with the bridge and it was a really collaborative experience. And it was truly the song that if I could write music,
this would be you.
It felt like it was coming from, it felt like I was very seen and understood, and he knew how I would want to be singing and how the character Mindy and her scene partner Kevin Diaz played Benoit, how they would write a song together and what that would mean for them. Yeah, and that's why I think it's such a joy for us that so many people from around the world have really just loved the song.
I also love it too, because I feel like I not only got like a vocab in French, like I was like learned some words to the song, but I felt so Parisian. I was like, this feels like a Paris. Like if I was going, like living my Parisian dreams. Freddie, where did the idea come from? How did you know this is the direction you wanted to take it?
Ashley was instrumental in that and kind of conveying the vibe that she wanted. And Darren also had a strong sense of what he wanted. And the music supervisor, who's really cool, her name's Brienne Rose. You know, she's done a great job of sort of curating this like musical palette for the show. I wasn't sort of like coming out of nowhere, but I love French sounding music. Like I think that when someone says Paris, generally you visualize Paris, you think about it, but there's also a sound of Paris. What I love about some of my favorite sort of music from there is it's not about, you know, 30 different tracks together, like this crazy production or whatever. It's sometimes very simple and just really perfect arranged parts that when you're listening to a record, you could actually imagine there's a trio right there on a corner performing it. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'm in my studio, so I can show you these chords.
The full tour, yeah.
These chords were just always, I just love these chords. They're very simple, actually. Sounds better, but. And that was the whole spark. Just literally those 4 chords had a vibe. I don't really know. That was it. And I played them for Ashley and kind of sang like a little bit of a melody idea, and she's like, I love that.
Well, and it's such a, you know, and Freddie was so good about asking me for my input and stuff. But what's so funny is I'm used to, this is the first song I've ever had written essentially for me to sing, you know? I love doing covers. I love, obviously, in the Broadway world, like these songs are already written. And so he would constantly be like, so like, how about this? Or like, what, this key, or does this note feel good? And I'd be like, wait, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Like I like to have that kind of voice in the process was so exciting for me. And also like something I was like, it was new for me, which was really cool.
Yeah. And how fulfilling is it for you to be on set, to not only get to like do acting, which I'm sure you love, but to also have this singing component in?
I know it's such a wild thing, because I'm asked that a lot. Like, what's the difference kind of? And it's kind of like comparing your parents or your kids or something, you know, it's like, I think what's so magical about it, like the element that I love about singing is that live component and is the interaction. It's also like I can perform 1,000 times somewhere live and not have like my grandma couldn't come fly to Paris to watch me sing, you know, but the fact that we get this like memento at the end of it, but it's also like there's a lot more pressure on like the day, right? Because you don't get to try it over 2,000 times over the course of rehearsals and like, yeah. That Tuesday night performance was not great. Like, I'll try it again tomorrow. It's kind of like, this is what it is. But that's why I think there's that extra little magic of spark there too, you know?
Oh, totally. And Freddie, let's go back to you for a second, because again, an award-winning writer and producer, and collaborations are nothing new for you. You've worked with artists like Selena Gomez, Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber, Halsey, Kanye West. Tell us a little bit about your musical and songwriting background.
I don't know. It's not that interesting. You know, I'm
self-taught. Don't be humble, Freddie.
I'm not trying to be humble.
Pretend like you're talking about me. Pretend like you're talking about your friend. Just like say it.
By the way, it's so funny that it seems humble, but the truth is just unimpressive. I'm self-taught at piano, and you know, I've always loved creating and writing melodies, lyrics, and you know, I think my influences, the stuff I love, I would say is classic. So like to me, like there's classic in every genre, right? Like Kanye to me is a classic artist. Queen is a classic artist. McCartney's a classic artist. So I try to draw from classic stuff, even if it's pop. With this song, it was the same sort of thing. It was like, how do I make something classic, but that feels contemporary? Like it feels like it could be modern, and how do I make something that honors this kind of the sound of Paris in a way, but also is playful, because the show's playful. And so it was challenging because, you know, like where we kind of mixed up the English and French, I was like, I wanted to find that combination where it was clear we weren't taking ourselves too seriously, but it also was really universal, and people from all different parts of the world could appreciate it. But when you look at the stats of the song and you see actually where it's being played, I mean, the song's was streamed, I think, like 11 million times in the first month or something, which, you know, it's pretty unusual. It's not like a record that, you know, Universal Music is pushing for a pop artist. It's just a song that played once on a show. It's just kind of cool, like how many people are Shazamming it, and that, I guess, and different words
yeah,
or
relating to it. Yeah, of course.
Freddie had like a really hard task in the fact that, again, we had to make the song feel very specific for the characters in the moment within the show, but we knew we wanted it to feel really universal throughout. And I think the thing that's really, like, me and Freddie are like texting all the time, sending each other these like covers and these videos and these TikToks and reels and all this stuff. And like, it's so, I feel like you said it was like 9,000, 8,000, 9,000 people had like used the song to create this content. And I think that's the coolest part, is it's like these people heard, like, you know, they were moved within the story if they watched it on the show. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh my gosh, this feels like a song that I can take ownership of. And like, just the amount of covers from all over the world. And like, I haven't seen a video yet where someone's not smiling while singing it, you know? It's one of those like feel good things. And so it feels good to be able to like make a piece of art that is making people smile, like age, gender, doesn't matter, you know, like everything. I
was just gonna say, just like to build up that and to answer about my background. So like, yeah, so I'm, you know, I've always been very creative, and I'm very drawn to like putting out positive vibrations and positive vibes. And so I think like Ashley and I were attracted to each other for like we both have that. Like when you meet Ashley, you're like, oh, she's radiates like there's light, you know.
I know the Zoom's already so fun. It's great. I can feel it.
And it is really important to me. So like whether it's for my artists, you know, I put out stuff under the name Jackson Penn, whether it's that stuff or stuff I write for other people, I just always try to find like where's the light in that. For instance, I reached out to Marco and Jack Parisi. They go by just Parisi. They're amazing. They're these Italian brothers. Marco literally wears pants like he's straight out of the Renaissance. He's an absolute virtuoso. Jack just had a baby, but they're brothers, and we've become so close, and they radiate positivity and light. And so I was like, yo, you need to help me with this song. And so they, you know, they co-produced it with me. Tony Maserati, who's a world famous mixer, has done Beyonce and all sorts of stuff. He's also a great dude. I don't know. I just feel like what I like about the song is a lot of great people came together to make it. And I think you can feel the energy in the song. It's happy, you know, it makes you feel good. And it's kind of like, yeah, it should, because there was a lot of good energy that went into it, I guess.
Even as a viewer, I feel like you can tell that, I mean, the show is obviously so fun to watch, but I even think seeing the little behind the scenes moments, you can tell that I feel like the crew really enjoys each other. And also super exciting, Inland Paris got renewed for 2 more seasons, which is amazing. Yay. Kim, what can we expect in these new seasons? Freddie, any more collabs? Ashley, what can we expect from new content coming out?
Oh gosh. Well, we know nothing about that, but what I will be wanting for sure is like definitely more songs with Freddie, original songs. And I think that is something that people can look forward to, because even if it's not within the guides of the show, because I don't want to get sued. I can't like speak for the show, but I know for a fact that me and Freddie will be collaborating on more music and putting out more of that into the world. But I don't really know. I wish I knew what was going on.
All gonna be surprised, even more exciting.
Ashley's a phenomenal singer. See, she's used to singing on stage, and that requires a very different and precise mastery of your instrument. Not to say that a lot of pop singers don't have that mastery. Many of them have an incredible mastery, but I'm just saying it's not always essential. And so it was very cool for me to work with someone who felt like old school in the expertise of recording with them, you know? So Ashley was really, really grateful and like honored to have this song that was really for her and that was being tailored day in and day out until it felt perfectly for her. And it felt like the way, I don't know, I imagine like when Sinatra or one of these people had a song for them, and it was very professional and fun for me.
Oh, very special too. Yella, I'm telling you, this is the nicest Zoom I've ever been on. I love that. It's so cool to see like a great collaboration, what that looks like. Before we let you both go, anything else in the works? What else do you have going on outside of Inland Paris, outside of Mon Soleil?
Music, definitely. Freddie, I don't know. But I mean, I filmed in this past fall, I filmed a movie in Vancouver that'll be coming out. It's all Asian leads, and it's a hard comedy, a rated R comedy from Lionsgate and Point Grey Productions, which is Seth Rogen's company, and that will be coming out soon. So yeah.
God, so exciting. And what's the name of the project? Can you tell us?
It's still untitled right now. Everyone's working on that right now. It's so funny. It's like the movie shot, and we're still like, but the title. We did have a title before. I don't think I can tell you what the working title was, but yeah.
Okay, good to know. We'll be on the lookout for that. Okay, Freddie, what about you?
You know, what most people don't know is that I'm very selective with what music I'm doing these days. I'm doing a lot of my time is in film and TV. I'm producing movies and TV shows, and one thing that I'm super pumped about is I got the life rights to this incredible guy named Keith Adams, who's he's a deaf football coach who took an all-deaf football team to the Division II California State Championship against all hearing teams for the first time in his school's nearly 70-year history. And it's just an unbelievable story. And so Luke Davies, who wrote the movie Lion, is writing that, and we're working on that together. And
my God, so exciting! Yeah.
He's also like a father and a husband, so he has like a whole other...
So you're busy.
Freddie's like texting me and stuff like that. I'm like, how do you have you are the busiest person I know. Like the fact that I don't have to take care of like 3 other lives is crazy.
Can't imagine. Well, I know you guys are busy. Thank you both so much for taking the time today. And again, congrats on Emily in Paris, on Mon Soleil. It's so nice to see you both. Thanks so much for watching our interview with Ashley Park and Freddy Wexler. Make sure you stream their new song, Mon Soleil, out now on iHeartRadio, and we'll see you next time. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Did you like that video? You can check out more over here. And don't forget to subscribe to iHeart right here. And if you're already a longtime fan, make sure you ring the bell down below so you don't miss a single video. Bye guys.